A movie in development? Yeah, so let me tell you more about it. Stick around.
From the mind of Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov.
So the project is called Best of the Best 5. Yeah, it's a sequel. And despite what IMDb is saying, currently we are not in production right now. We are in development. So how this all came about is just kind of like a part of a longer story that I will tell you. But first, hold on, I got to show you something. I am recording this entire everything off of the SE Electronics 6160 onto my phone as part of an ongoing experiment, which I will talk about in a future episode. But going back to the movie and everything. So let me begin. The last few months have just been a little bit crazy, and I haven't spoken about any of this on the channel because it has nothing to do with microphones or voiceover. But November, like early, middle November, out of nowhere, I get offered a writing gig, comedy writing gig. And, the offer came with a 30-something page long NDA. Right? I mean, it's like this thing is like a mortgage document, and you initial here, sign here. Just like terrifying. And I wasn't looking for a writing gig. It just kind of got offered to me. Somebody had suggested me for it, and I'm like, okay. And the pay was great, and who it was for was pretty amazing. And so I did that. And it was a sprint project, not for the company sprint, meaning that it was a short-term project. A lot of stuff had to be done over a short period of time. And so I did it. It was great because, a little extra cash for the holidays is always a good thing. And then, I finished that project. And at the same time, I'm doing this anime gig, voicing a whole bunch of parts in, these different anime projects for this studio in France. And the right around the early middle of December, I have a collapsed lung. And I have to go to the hospital. I'm in the hospital for 6 days with a chest tube. And it got a little scary. And I'm laughing now because the whole thing just seems so surreal to me. Right. So that happens, and I'm lying in bed, and there are moments where I'm actually thinking I might die. And but I'm obviously fine. I'm fine now. This is 6 weeks later. And so I get out of the hospital, and the anime gig people are like, hey, can you voice this stuff? And I'm like, sure. So I'm working much sooner than I want to go back. And I'm thinking at the end of the year, I gotta take it a little easy. I gotta slow down a little bit. And then out of nowhere, right, I find out that Best 5 is in development. Now, this is crazy because this is a script that I was hired to write 18 or 20 years ago. And this has been out of development for at least 15 years or something like that. And it originally was not a Best of the Best sequel. It was I was hired to write a movie. It was about a new type of martial arts fighting league, 2-on-2, two fighters against two fighters. Really cool concept. I loved it. Killed the first draft. It was amazing. We had gotten it optioned and everything back then, and nothing happened, which is usual. And so this is something I hadn't thought about in a long time. I've optioned screenplays before, and none of them got made. And so it was kind of that part of my life was back then, and preceded writing books, it preceded voiceover, and so just kind of okay. And so to find out that a creative work that I did 2 decades ago, 18 years ago, has come back to life is just such a joy in itself. The fact that if you do good creative work, it could live forever. You know what I mean? It still has value. It still tells a great story. So while being in development does not guarantee anything at all. I know that there's some attachments to it, but I'm like completely out of like the production picture here. Like I am just a casual observer off to the side. Back in the day, like 15, 18, 20 years ago, I'd try to be actively involved in the production, go to all the meetings and everything like that. Now I'm just kind of like, hey, like make it happen. Maybe my involvement before was the thing that kept stuff from getting made. I don't know. So, I'm just kind of like, I found out weeks, maybe even months after it went back in development, after there was like a production company involved in all that. And so, because that's just the way it goes, So I'm hoping, I'm just thrilled that that my name's still on it, that what my contributions to the script are still intact enough for my name to stay on it. And hopefully if it does get made, my contributions to the script will remain intact enough for my name to still be on it, at least a story by credit. So you never know. But I am, fingers crossed. Usually with this kind of thing, if you write a script on your own, spec script, right, and you try to sell it, your chances of seeing it made into a movie are probably like 1.001%, right? Realistically, especially if you're not connected, if you don't have somebody to give it to, it's an exercise in futility. If you get hired to write a script for a producer, then, the odds increase to maybe like 5%. So, that's infinitely better. You're not to the moon yet, but at least you have lifted off into some low orbit. And then if you can option it and get a production company involved, somebody who's, if you can start getting attachments to it, actors, directors, people who can help give the project some sort of sense of adding bona fides to your project, right? When you can do that, then maybe it goes up to maybe like 20% chance of getting made. So honestly, I have no idea. And a lot of times in the past, I've just been very cynical about this kind of thing, extremely cynical about this kind of thing. And I'm like, it's never going to happen. But you know what? I'm changing my attitude. I'm going to be a little bit more positive about it this time. And this time I'm going to say, hey, with a little luck, you never know. This one could happen. So anyway, the reason I bring this up is that there's been so much going on, and I need to take a little bit of break from making content, just at least for a little while. Now, I do want to talk about this phone rig. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on how to really present that instead of just kind of just throwing it together. And but I need a little break because there's been a lot of wear on my voice with just work in general over the since summer really, and I just kind of need to allocate some bandwidth to other stuff. The other thing I just wanted to mention real quick, if anybody's still watching, is that I've put all plans for the audiobook version of the Modern Voiceover Career Owner's Manual. You see right there. I put that on hold because I just don't have the bandwidth for it right now, and I'm not really sure that there's enough demand for the audiobook to warrant putting in hundreds of hours of production on it. So. I don't know how long this content break will take. I'm offering myself to the producers in case they need my input or my eyes on the script or anything, but I doubt anything will happen. But I still just need a little bit of, I just need to kind of take a breather for a moment here, because it has been absolutely nuts going back into like the middle of summer. So anyway, if you don't see a video from me for, I don't know, it's not because I don't care. It's because I'm just trying to, get it back and get my mind back into the headspace of creating content. Because right now I just feel like I'm being pulled in so many different directions, and it's not fair. It's not fair to anyone. So Anyway, but thank you for listening. And again, this is really cool. This is WavePad for the iPhone. And yeah, you're listening to the SE Electronics 6160. There's no EQ on this. So this is raw, going right into my phone. So we're going to talk about this soon. All right. Let me know what you're thinking. And until next time, this is Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov, fading to black.